Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne.
We are live, finally. Hopefully no more glitches. Oh, Lord.
Many glitches.
I don't know what it is between LinkedIn and StreamYard. We just always have a fun time every time we go live. But that's okay. Because we have Dr. Tanya here and she's going to tell us how to be calm and have this work-life balance that we're all striving for. Are you getting any comments as yet, any?
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, oh gosh.
I've lost your link. I've lost your LinkedIn, so I'm having to deal with that first.
Of course.
The LinkedIn just fell off as I pressed go live.
What do you need from me?
Carry on talking. I'll reconnect your LinkedIn and then.
Okay.
I might talk to you then. Until then, I'm distracted.
Okay. Well, let me know if you need the password or anything. I'll text it to you.
No, I shouldn't do.
Okay. All right. Oh my goodness, Dr. Tanya, thank you for being on the show. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I am doing really well. Very well. Yeah.
I've been seeing all the shows you've been putting on, advertising the summit. You've been quite busy with Damien.
I have been. It is, when we get down to the wire, it just kind of gets to be crunch time. And we really do, spend a lot of time doing lives, which is so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, it is fun once things can go working for
Once
us.
it decides to work, right?
Yeah, the LinkedIn gremlins always get us. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We're live. Okay, I'll show you some of the comments. Let's see who's here.
I'm live. Yeah.
Our friends have to make some comments. Tell us where you're joining us from. Tell us where you are. Tell us anything you want to tell us, right?
Yeah, today will be a good topic.
Yes. I'll leave it with you two to do your thing, and then I'll
why are you not on camera? I know you just had a trip. Why are you not gracing us with your presence?
My camera is playing up, and I can't fix it until the weekend.
Oh my goodness! So we're not going to see your lovely face.
Yeah, look at my face. Look at that lovely face there.
No. We need your live. Oh my goodness! I did not know that. All right. I'll have to settle for just your picture.
Yes. A picture I'll have to do today.
Oh my
Sorry
gosh.
about that. Anyway.
Oh gosh. Well, welcome again, everyone, to another Tuesday where we talk about some topic related to perimenopause and menopause, because that's what we focus on. Today is going to be an exciting session where we talk more about work-life balance. I think as everyone is winding down and getting ready for the year ending, we're trying to scramble and get everything ready and get all the documents. And, it's just a crazy time. And I thought this would be a lovely time to just take a moment and remind ourselves why work-life balance is so important during midlife for women, especially if we're going through perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. So let me give 2 minutes to Dr. Tanya and Annie to introduce themselves if anyone is new here, and then we'll get it show started. So Dr. Tanya, I'm passing it to you.
Well, hi. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here today. I am Tanya Farron. I am the CEO owner of Creative Living Ideas. And with that business, I host a lot of summits, 2 large summits every year. One's called the Work-Life Balance Summit. And then I also do a lot of public speaking. I'm on Clubhouse every morning at 6:30 a.m., just talking about different topics. I'm also a published author. I've written 8 different books, and those different books can vary between parenting, cooking, as well as self-care, all in between for everyone. So I've written 5 different self-care journals to help, people find a tool that they can use. And so absolutely love that role. That is my 5 to 9 weekend position, but during the day, I am a middle school principal. And so I work virtually as a middle school principal in the United States in the state of Missouri. That's a little bit about me. Oh, and I've been married for like 34 years and have two daughters. So yeah, a little bit about me.
I didn't realize you were doing that virtually. I didn't realize you can be a principal virtual. That's okay, news to me. Because I know
Yes.
you talked about it before, but I didn't realize it was virtual.
Yes. Yes. I
That
love that.
that job must be quite interesting and stressful at times.
It is. Yes. And yes, it is. It really is. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you're the perfect person to talk about work-life balance and some of these strategies we can use for it. So great. Can you just tell the people, the few people that don't know who you are, a little bit about yourself?
You're being funny. No one knows who I am. So I love the idea that we're slowing down towards the end of the year. I wish. I got many more things to do. A lot more things are coming. I guess heavy, right? But it's fine. It's what we aim for. But I can learn from Dr. Tanya today about how to find that balance. I would argue with you, Dr. Tanya. As entrepreneurs, I don't think we can't find balance. We can find a way to get things done, a way to find happiness. But I don't think we're going to balance suggests 50-50, right? And I think that's a roost. Yeah, but you can beat me up on that one and help me learn something today. That's what I'll say, right? So for those who know me, those who don't know me, apart from me being annoying, I always have fun, right? So I'm doing what I do, even though, like I say, Lisa, I was getting more than less. Just come back from Ghana, yay, yeah! Speaking gig at Williams No Human is Useless stage. So I can add keynote speaker to my bio. Yay. And then I've got other speaking gigs to be doing. I've got my own to be doing before Christmas. I was going to Dr. Tanner about it earlier. Do I do it in end of November? Do I do it in December? But either way, I'm going to create a platform for authors to come and speak and get paid. Yay. But the money has to come from somewhere, right? I have to sell tickets, in other words. Yeah, so that's fun. I think I'm speaking to a group of African young people about AI on Saturday. Lucky me. The AI person I'm not, right? Yeah, but that's a part of my life. So now, of course, I'm still having fun doing what I do best, which is help people to write their book, publish their books, market their books, and become bestsellers on Amazon. My last author, last Friday, the 17th, I think he got 9 bestsellers, number 1 bestsellers, and 6 hot new releases. So that gives me joy. But obviously, he's referred his friends now, so I'm thinking, damn, that's just more work. But it's what I wish for. So let's have more of it. As long as they're paying me good money, I'll take it, right? And I keep delivering my guaranteed results. That's it for me, Lisa. I'm going back to having fun again. They can't see me this time. Yay.
Yes, and his excuses, his camera isn't working today. So, all right, I'll take that for this show. So, thank you, Annie. Thank you for always supporting. And welcome again. My name is Lisa Favak. I'm a dietitian, educator, author, and coach for menopausal women. I really focus on that menopause journey because there are still areas that where we don't talk about it enough. We don't have enough research on it. I'm from the Caribbean, and we definitely need more research in this region for mixed race populations, especially. So my passion, my purpose, the reason I show up every day on LinkedIn, and maybe I spend too much time on LinkedIn, but yeah, it's just to keep bringing that awareness and that education on topics that affect women, especially when they're going through their menopausal journey and in midlife. And today is no different. We're going to talk about why work-life balance is so important. So what I wanted to do is just get an initial 2 lines maybe on what work-life balance means to you. I know, Annie, you talk about balance not being 50-50. But I really wanted to get your perspective on what that term means, because it's thrown about so much. What does it really mean? So, Dr. Tanya, I'm going to start with you.
Well, honestly, I think that, work-life balance is finding what works for you in life that balances you. And it changes. I don't think that there's one set way that you can say, oh, I'm in balance. I'm going to stay in balance forever, because as life throws us curveballs and things like that, we become to get out of balance. But when we're looking at the definition of work-life balance, we're looking at, I always look at it in a couple of different ways. Like, what does it sound like? What does it feel like? And so what does work-life balance sound like for you? What does it feel like for you? And it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different kind of level of tolerance for things in life. And so that's like a roundabout way to define it. I also want to say that, it changes, what area you need to spend more time in, kind of sometimes outweighs, but being able to recognize and find the tools to bring us back into balance is what's most important. Because life's going to get out of balance.
I love that. I love the acknowledgement that life will get out of balance. That knowing that is, to me, freeing. You're not expecting it to be the same every day. Crap is going to hit the fan at some point. But how do we deal with those situations when it happens? So I love that. Annie, you want to share with us what it means to you? I always like to hear the male perspective, since, you all are our support system. So what does work-life balance mean for you?
Before I share, our friends are here and they're just not showing up on StreamYard. Like, it's a strange thing to happen, but that's LinkedIn and StreamYard for you. Kenny, welcome. I see you. So today's Spencer Collins' 51st birthday. Happy birthday, Spencer. I see Miss Pepperoni is here as well. I'm here, Roti Lisa. I'm here. Yay. That's what Noni does, right? So Alison, I see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Miss Ari, the one went from wheelchair to dance floor in 21 days, if I remember rightly. Welcome, Miss Ari. I haven't seen you for a while. Glad you're here, though. Thank you for joining us, Peter. I see you as well. Kenny says he has no tolerance for tomfoolery, whatever that means. I'll leave you with that, Kenny. No tomfoolery here today, right? Serious talk. Very serious talk. What's work-life balance to any? Ooh, I think it's living life on my terms. That's a word I know I can describe it. I find myself in a place where every day is a joy, as opposed to what life used to be when I was an employee. Every day was stressful. Every day was misery. Literally misery. I hated every day going to work. I hated every day being at work. I hated every day coming back home from work. Whereas now, I feel the joy. I feel like I control my day. I wake up when I want. I do what I want to do every day. Even when I got customers screaming at me, I still find that space to say, "Oh yeah, I'll get it done." And most of the time, I will get it done. Now, but in between all of that, I do what I enjoy. I get to spend time with my son and my wife when I feel like it. So I get to do and I get to do my exercise every day, which is rather good, right? I think it's overall joy with how your days are going. That's what it means for me. It doesn't mean I don't work long hours. Of course, I work long hours. I like working at night, especially. So, but I feel in harmony. I feel aligned with what makes me happy. That's the answer there, Lisa. I see Dr. Marcia has joined us as well. Welcome, Dr. Marcia. Great to see you. Christy as well. Welcome, all of you. I can only see me in the comments. How strange is that, right?
Yeah.
I'll leave that there.
Yes, so the LinkedIn gremlins are getting us today. Again, we started a little late, and yeah, you're not getting all the comments either. So I'm seeing Will Williams, welcome. I'm seeing Michael Calm as he's going by these days, welcome. Linda, my friend Linda, hi. Kimberly, welcome. I missed out somebody. Oh gosh, come scroll faster. Oh. And if there's a hi Peter, if there's anyone else that I missed out, or we missed out, please forgive us. Yeah, we're using several devices to try try and keep up. But well, thank you everyone, and please share where you're joining us from and what work-life balance means to you. So for me, I like that word that you use, joy. I think that especially when we're pushing ourselves to get things done, we forget that we need to live in the moment and live in joy. And when I talk to a lot of my clients, when they, as women, we're trying to please everyone else and do everything for everyone else and support everyone else. And maybe that's the caregiver role in us, and that's fine. But we put ourselves last and we forget to find those moments of joy. I heard a podcast, I believe it was with Mel Robbins. I sent it to a friend, and the person was saying that our lives, the way we live it, think of it as in living in thirds. A third of the time, it will be great. Everything will be going the way we want to. There's no stress. Everything is aligned. A third of the time, things will be okay. We just kind of meh. Not great, but not bad. And then a third of the time is when things will really be rocky. Things will not go the way that we want to, will be very stressful. And if we accept that those times will occur, then we can prepare for those times, we can deal with those times. But instead of thinking, well, we're supposed to live in these happy go lucky times all the time, that it, 100% of the time it's supposed to be great. That's not realistic, and that's not like, and especially in midlife, especially when those 100 plus menopause symptoms hit, you can find yourselves going down that rabbit hole of anxiety and depression and blaming yourself as if something is wrong with you because everyone else around you is happy. Why am I not happy? And I think and I like the analogy of living in thirds because it means that we're going to expect those bad times, but they're also going to be good times. So cherish the good times and prepare for the times that we're not going to be, that things aren't going to be as great. So a simple example, when we feel great, we have a lot of energy, maybe choose that time to do meal prepping and batch cook meals so we could prepare it and freeze some of those so that when we're feeling down and we're struggling to get out of bed, which will happen because of the hormones and whatever else is going on in our lives, that we have meals prepared on the days that we were good, so that the days that we're down, we have something to eat. And we don't have to think about, okay, I have to drag myself out of bed to make something. Right? So I loved that analogy. And I think to me, that's balance. Expecting that things will go bad sometimes, but preparing for those times mentally, physically as well. And he talked about exercise. Exercise is so important. And for me, I rather use the word physical activity. Exercise somehow gives my clients anxiety that they have to join the gym or buy expensive weights. And sometimes because of their confidence issues, they're not ready to be around people. But if I say physical activity, and if you enjoy gardening, do more of that. If you like housework, do that a little more vigorously. All of those things count. Right? So I think for me is living in balance, and that work-life balance means trying to get a little more rest, finding a little more joy, and preparing for those times that aren't going to be as great so that you're supported. Anything you want to add, Dr. Tanya? I see you shaking your head. Let me just check the comments really quickly.
Oh my gosh, I think you said a lot of really, really great things. And, I think my question to you would be, have you always felt that way? Or have you evolved and changed in your thought process of finding that work-life balance?
Yeah, it's definitely been an evolution, and I think I'm still evolving. And I think that's what I encourage my clients to do as well. It's not a one size fits all, and we're always learning. So when I first started my menopausal journey, it was in my 30s, and I didn't know what the heck was going on because I
Mhm.
didn't start with hot flashes. Nobody said menopause. So I had to figure things out myself. So I was not in balance at all. It was a very scary time. I cried a lot during that time. I didn't know why I was crying most of the times. But once I got an answer and started my programs, and I started the programs on myself, I found more balance. And then I realized, okay, let me learn from other people. Let me look at more motivational videos, more podcasts that speak to it because I don't know everything. And
Mhm.
I have clients all over the world. So maybe something that works in the Caribbean wouldn't work in the US or the UK. So let me learn from others. And like I said, listening to people like Mel Robbins and people like that, where I may not agree with everything they say all the time,
Right.
but they always bring on these different experts that I
Mhm.
can take what works for me and leave the rest, which is what I encourage everyone to do, even listening to us. Take what works for you, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's okay. No harm, no foul. But I think for everyone, especially women who are really struggling with menopause, this is a part of your process. So don't try to fight it. Don't try to deny it. It's going to happen to all of us. All of us are going to go through menopause, whether we like it or not. But we got to find what works for us. And it is an evolution. For me, I call it a transformation. And if you look at my posts, I always have like a little butterfly somewhere because that is the ultimate transformation to me. To go from a caterpillar to this beautiful butterfly. And
Yeah.
to me, that symbolizes freedom. And I have the word freedom tattooed on me because it's so important.
Mhm.
This is what menopause means for me, and this is what I want to bring to clients and to
Mhm.
people listening, that freedom. So that is why I thought, right now everybody's talking about changing jobs and looking at HR stuff, but how do we balance that with all the things we have to do at home? So I
Yeah.
mean, your life, Dr. Tanya, is you have so many jobs. How do you find that? Because you talked about kids, you're
Mhm.
talking about being a principal, so you deal with other kids, and
Mhm.
then you have your job in the evening. How do you find that balance?
Yeah. I love that. So I'm the same as you. Like I have been working at this probably since I would say 2008. 2008 was a real pivotal time in my life. Like just been working on it and finding other resources as well, like you said. But how do I personally find it? And I want to drop some tips in here for everyone. The first one is, managing my time. That is a huge piece for me, and something that really works for me. And I always spend, and even probably early on when my kids were little at home, in 2008, I had an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, which I think is important for people that are listening in the audience, because a lot of times they'll think, oh, you're an empty nester, you have all this time, like you don't have to balance it. But there was a time when I did even more, and I still do now, because I wasn't an entrepreneur then either. So, but what I do always is on Sundays, I review my calendar and look at my calendar. And when I'm talking about, I look at my calendar, I know when my 8 to 4 job is. And when I'm working, I know when that is. I don't need to look at that calendar. That's a whole different type of balance, and prioritizing my day. But personally, I have to look at that 4 to 10 o'clock at night and my weekends. And I really have to go in and balance with what I have going on in life with what I have personally. I've always limited myself to 2 social events since probably 2008 for myself a week. I love to go out to dinner with my girlfriends. I love to go out to dinner with my husband. I love to see my family. I love to go. But I know that that does not work for me. That if I don't plan one night during the week, at least maybe 2, to stay home Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, I don't do very well. I start getting, I can always tell when my life is out of whack the way my kitchen counter is. If my kitchen counter starts getting piled up with stuff, I'm like, pause, time out. Something's got to happen here, because I'm in drop and go mode. And when I'm in drop and go mode, that's not going to work for me. I start getting very out of balance. I get agitated. I don't sleep well. I get snippy to people, I'm tired. I lose my focus, like all of those things. So I go in and I spend that week. Now, I also look at a whole month. So I'll give you a perfect example right now with my entrepreneurship. I also have some other live streams that I do. But right now, I know I have the summit and I have to dedicate time in the evenings for live streams on the summit, for the Work-Life Balance Summit. But my daughter also is a high school softball coach. And it's important for me to get to those games. And so I've really scheduled my calendar. I put her schedule on before I put anybody else on, because it's a 6-week period of time. It's a portion of my daughter's life. Yes, she's 28, but this is important to us as a family. And I put that on there. My son-in-law coaches hockey at a college level. I put that is a priority for me. And those things go first. And so really looking at those things that are priorities, doctor's appointments, getting those scheduled out, getting those on my calendar are so important. So really scheduling time in. Now, I also love to go out of town. I love to travel. So I'm always planning that longer range of travel, for people or, for myself. So like this past weekend, we were out of town with family. I knew I had a couple of things scheduled, but I worked the whole day around it and then had all kinds of off time. People think I'm never off. I think because they see me live so much, they're like, boy, do you ever stop working? And I'm like, you guys would not believe how much I am off. Like, I purposely schedule myself that I am doing lives on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm done the rest of the week, So that's just one tip of one of the things that I do is really live by my calendar, look at it, reflect at it, and really kind of adapt my life to that and knowing and I think the piece that's so important is knowing how to identify when you are feeling out of control, out of balance. Like I said, snippy, cranky, countertop, what does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Those are things. My counter is a mess. I feel like I'm just burning the candle at both ends. I'm not sleeping well. I'm snippy. That sends a signal to me of like, hey, lady, slow down. Something's going on. And that's when you have to go to that calendar and you have to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move this appointment, and a lot of people don't like to use the word sorry. I think it's okay to use and say, hey, I just want to let you know I can't do this. This isn't going to work for me right now. Can we schedule this next week? Can we schedule this in 2 weeks? So there's some things like that that are really important to do. And I really try to model that as a mom for my daughters. My daughters are both really strong professionals and, really put pressure. My other daughter is a manager of a bank and is, going to college and, it's a lot running a household. As an adult, it's a lot. And I really try to teach them how to balance their life. And I model that for them. And I think that's important that we do that as parents. I know I've said a lot. I'll pass it back to you.
That's okay. That's such great tips. And I want to touch on some of them.
Sure.
Are you checking the comments? I'm seeing a couple more people join us. Just making sure Annie's still here with us and not under the covers hiding somewhere.
Well, Kinga has got through somehow. I don't know how. Welcome, Kinga. Glad you're here. You sneaked through on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're on my channel, please like the video, comment. Whoever's YouTube you're on, mine, Lisa, Dr. Tanya's, just make sure you like today's video, make a comment, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe.
I don't think I'm subscribed to Kinga, so I'm going to do that after the show.
So good
welcome.
to see you all, yes. Lisa. I like that spoken, Lisa. Dr. Tanya, I get it. I'm taking time off.
Yay.
Annie, how do you sit still for so long? Ha ha. So see, there's a secret there. Now, I'm standing, Kinga. I don't sit down during my shows. I used to sit down during Lisa's shows, and I if anybody fall asleep, and she's like, Annie, where are you? I'm like, I'm rested. But I've learned to stand up for all my shows now, which is a whole different set of problems, right? I'm sure it's good for your health. That's when the one said that's the reason I can see on my comments. It's apart from Kenny going crazy about tomfoolery. I don't know what's going on about myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna just move up.
Someone was upset. No, it was
I'm
Miss
seeing
Margaret's
also
here. Welcome, Margaret. We'll
okay,
see
I'm
you
not
now.
seeing Margaret. I'm seeing
For joining
Janice. Hi,
us.
Janice. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome.
Okay, now Peter says, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Yes, I think that's a good way to live, right?
Yeah.
I think we can just live in our little bubble. That's my thing. I think I like to live in my little world. And if you asked earlier, Dr. Tanya, is it a new, is it a thing? Is it a new thing, or is it a thing that I've always had? No, I say no. Life was always been stressful. But now I got to a certain place where I decided, you know what? It's your problem, not mine. I'm going to take on your stresses. I'm going to take on leave me alone, right? I'll do me. And I just choose to be happy every day. And it's a choice. So Lisa talks about midlife. I think, maybe because I'm 51 now, I can be ignorant. It's what I decide to myself. I can decide not to tolerate anyone else's rubbish, really. If you having a bad day, you have a bad day. Don't affect my day. Leave me alone. I refuse to join your. I'm not going to play the game with you. I refuse entirely. Don't like it. You know what to do, right? Right. You can see where I'm going with this, Dr. Tanya. It's my happiness above all else. And I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to compromise either. So, but in that happiness, I get stuff done. And I say, I think that's what matters to me. I get what I need to get done gets done in my own good time. But normally, I think I'm trying to say there's a balance between what I have to do and what I choose to do. That's probably the real thing these days. I'm not chased by everyone. Only I can chase myself when I choose to. Otherwise, I'm just a happy-go-lucky kind of person, and life works just the way I want it to work. Yeah, I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, I love that point that you brought up, finding joy without apology. That part without apology. That was powerful. You see, that's why I have you on the show, Annie. You drop these gems, ever so often. But there's something that you said that Dr. Tanya said, saying no to things or not right now. And that's something I also try to do because I have that people pleasing side of me and I recognize that. But if I'm not at 100%, I can't give you 100%. I can't fulfill whatever task to the best of my ability. So sometimes saying not right now can be so powerful that, and explain to the person, listen, I'm not in a position to give you 100%. And okay, so I'll schedule it for next week and it'll get done, but it'll get done to a better quality if I take my time with it. I thought that was so powerful. Scheduling those times when for those activities that are important to you that has nothing to do with your work. I think sometimes we forget to do those things. And I tell my clients, schedule your time to rest, schedule your time to exercise. You have to put it in your calendar. For me, especially with brain fog, if it's not written in the calendar, it does not exist. It has to be on my Google Calendar, right? So I schedule everything in. And if someone looks at it, it looks crazy because there are things in different colors. It's all over the place. But I understand what's going on because if I don't put everything there, then if a client tries to schedule something, it could clash with something that I need to do. So I put everything on the same calendar. But then I have my personal calendar and then I say, okay, today, what do I want to achieve? If I achieve that one thing today will have gone well. So out of the million things I have to do, I pick one or two things that I must get done or I choose to get done. I'm using any words I think is a better way. I'm choosing to get those things done first. And then if I finish those things, I could add other things to that list. But I have my main list, as you said, Dr. Sania, my monthly list. And then from that, I pull those things, but I always schedule in my rest time. So from 12 to 3, well, I had to schedule it because I was falling asleep in any case, right? I was dozing off. So I said, listen, I'm gonna do like a Spain and have my siesta. Gonna block off that time. if I'm not sleepy and I want to do work, okay, I choose to do that. But I'm blocking off that time because I'm not going to be 100%. I'm not going to give people the best of me. So I'm going to block off that time. I block off an hour in the morning for my physical activity, what I enjoy to do. And then, okay, I work late. I go till 10, 11 at night because in the night I get re-energized and that works better for me. But I already blocked off 3 hours during the day for rest, So that's how I find balance. So I love that you talked about scheduling time and not even yours, but your children and your son-in-law. So all the things that are important to you that people will be like, why your son-in-law's activities, your scheduling, that's so weird. But it's because you've made certain things important. And it's not just about making money and the dollar and stuff like that. Yes, those things are great, but there are other things that are more important, and you've actually scheduled time for that. And I think that, to me, that was a powerful part of what you said, and I hope people take um, note of that and start to look at your own life. What is really important to you now? What do you want to show up for? Who do you want to show up for? What kind of person do you want to show up as? And start to change your scheduling and your calendar to match those things. And I'm seeing LinkedIn comments. Yay.
Yes, me too. Finally.
Yes. Hi, Leslie. Yeah. My Saji sis. Anybody else that's new to the conversation, Annie? I think I'm seeing Sean as well. Hi.
And Christy. Hi, Christy. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, that's the life part, scheduling in the events that you want to go to for the life part. And one of those are vacations, y'all. Like, I want to go on vacations, and I schedule those. I try to get some kind of a trip or vacation in every month, something to go. And it's really energizing for me. Like, I love to look forward to something. I think I almost enjoy the planning of the event and thinking about the event as much, if not more, than the actual event that we go to or do. Recently we just took a quick trip up to Michigan for the weekend to visit my husband's cousin, played a little bit of golf. It doesn't have to be an expensive trip. I'm not talking about, going and visiting Annie or visiting you in the Caribbean. I'm talking about, we took a 7-hour drive, played golf on Saturday, Sunday, had dinner, and told the family, the cousins, like, we just want to be with you. Like, let's just cook at home and have dinner and be a family, and then we'll go home. And it was wonderful, finding those moments and the time to do that, scheduling that out for yourself. So important.
Yeah, I love that. Sorry, Annie, go ahead.
So I like Dr. Leslie's comments. That I remove anything that has low value to me. So
Yeah.
often items on our calendar are more important to other people than they are to us. I think that's a truth, right? We spend so long trying to fit other people's plans that we almost forget ourselves. And that's when we begin to feel discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, so there's more than enough hours in the day to do what we want to do. If we just learn to prioritize those rather than prioritizing other people's shenanigans.
The other thing I think too with that is that, it takes a skill to do that. So, people have to learn how to do that. As Lisa said, we have people that are people pleasers. We have parents that guilt their children into making them do things like, that there's that true parent guilt. You can, and so I think it's important, or people feel guilty about taking time for themselves. And, I really try to model that with my daughters and give them permission. And I know that sounds funny, but, I want them to know if they're tired, I want them to rest. If they've had a rough week, I may invite them to something, but I want them to know, it's okay to say no. If you need to stay home today, or you have to be with your husband, or you have bills to pay, or you have whatever your priority is, it's okay to tell me no. And you can just hear I really want to do it, but I do have to do this today. That's okay. We'll do another day. I think that's really important for us to remember as parents and give them that permission.
Yeah, totally agree.
I will say something. Like, we seem to have this problem with work and our happiness.
And our habits or happiness.
I used to, for sure. I said, like, when I was working for people, I don't know what it is. This is why I'm asking the question, really. We seem to have this negativity about working, and when we work for ourselves, I think it's a bit different. And maybe when you get to midlife, by then there's more chance you might have your own business and you can find your own peace. But when you are a worker and subject to other people that you don't choose, we seem to have this negativity, which ruins our days. What can we do about it, really? How do we reframe? Is it reframe? Is it change? What's the answer?
Well, honestly, I think there's a couple of different answers personally about this. I think that, first of all, if you're unhappy in your position, then you should change and look for another job. Maybe you're in the wrong field. Maybe you need to take a type of an aptitude, some type of a careers test to find out maybe where your strengths lie. Maybe you're in the wrong field. Maybe you're doing the wrong thing, and so looking at that, I think that's important to do. I also believe that we bring to the workplace the culture and the environment also, so if we're going to hang around the water cooler and complain and gossip, then that's what we're going to breed in that workplace. So if we're going to bring about the positivity in what we do and a growth mindset, then we're going to have a better experience in the workplace. We can't wait for someone else to change our feelings inside. No one's going to change that. We have to determine, is it a choice to be happy today? Is it, how are we looking at the glass? Half full or half empty? Or just grateful that we have a glass of water? Like, what are we looking at? And I think that's really important to do also. And this is a lot of work. And this is what Lisa, just shared. And I've shared these thoughts, this way of life, finding work-life balance and appreciation, I guess you could say, for some of the things and finding patterns is not something that just happens overnight. I wasn't instilled with those things. I've learned them. I've sought them out. I've chosen to listen to people who are giving me advice, like Lisa, on menopause. I'm learning about how the things that I put in my body, or my amount of sleep, or the hormones or hormone replacement therapies, things like that, to improve myself and my moods and all of that. You have to learn that from other people. You just don't come pre-programmed.
Definitely, those habits are not, you're not born with it. I think you have to learn those. And again, learning from other people. And that's what I do on, University of YouTube. Productivity, motivation. There are people who know more than us, who've written books on it. So I'm always listening to those podcasts to see what I can pull out, not just for myself, but for my clients as well, because not everything will work for everyone. So I have to keep trying different things. So I'm always looking for ideas. And I think one of the things you said was sometimes when the wrong job. And I know in this economy where people are losing their jobs left, right, and center, people may think, okay, I need to hold on to what I have, even if it's crap, I need to hold on to it. And that may be true, but I also encourage women especially women, because they're always thinking, okay, I have to provide, so I need to hold on to what I have. But then I ask them, okay, are you happy where you are? Are you being supported where you are? And if you're not, can you change the conversation? So maybe you all could get together and talk to a supervisor, manager to change things. But if that's not the case, then let's explore different options. And as you were saying, maybe you have the wrong skill set or you need a different skill set, can you go back to school, do a short course to up level yourself so that if you're looking for the job that really excites you, you're prepared? So yes, you may be in the current job taking that paycheck, but you're planning for 5 years down the line because I know I'm not going to stay here anymore. And that's okay. You don't have to we're not saying this, quit your job because you don't like it. You need a plan. And there are people, and this is why I love LinkedIn, because we have such a great community of people where if we need that advice, how do you change jobs? What do you look for? How do you do your resume? Those things, we have people here that can support us with that. But I think we also need to do that internal talk. And we're in midlife right now. Next 20 years, do we want to stay in the same job? Is it going to really bring us joy or just suck the life out of us? What do we really want for ourselves? So I think that was a really great point. And when you were talking about the calm environment, it reminded me of a client I had where she was saying the workers there, she felt as if they were sucking her energy because it was just so negative. And I was asking, okay, and she had caused her to keep eating like chocolate biscuits and she was eating her feelings basically. So I was telling her, okay, the time when they're stressed out is usually around 2 o'clock. Let's leave the office that time, take a little walk, make a cup of tea, and come back. And when you're coming back, just stop and say hi to everybody. And I asked her, and she was not a tea drinker. She was drinking coffee left, right, and center. So that was also causing her hormones to be out of balance and causing her to be stressed, which was adding to stress in the room. So I said, listen, okay, let's switch to some peach tea. Peach was her favorite flavor. So go to the kitchen, calm yourself, forget whatever's going on, make your cup of peach tea, and then walk through the office with it and say hi to everybody. By the end of the week, people were realizing, okay, what is that smell passing through the office? Because just the smell of the peach changed people's moods. And because she was stopping and saying hi, and she wasn't having a very long conversation with them, it broke their negative thinking. And they were like, who's this person? What are you drinking? And she literally changed the mood of her office. So she became less stressed and stopped eating the biscuits in the evening and started to drink more tea than coffee, which that surprised me because she hated tea, right? 1 cup of tea walking through the office changed the whole office. So sometimes we think we don't have the power to change things, and sometimes this is why working with a coach is so important. But looking at your situation and seeing, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? Maybe I need to step outside in the sunlight for a little bit and forget the office for a while to calm myself. There are always little things you can do, but also look at the bigger picture. 5 years down the road, do I want to stay in this place? Is it causing me more stress so that my work-life balance is now out of whack? How can I fix it? So thanks for those that reminded me of that story with my client. I still remember to this day.
It's a great story. It's a great story.
Yeah.
She did not give in to their negativity. And then they were like, oh, look, we could do that instead. What a leader. Yeah. That's amazing. It's a great story.
Yeah, just, a cup of peach tea. I'm seeing such great comments.
There's some good ideas in the comments, which I like. So let's look at some of those. Mm-hmm. So Leslie says she has 1 calendar for me. Yep. It's all about me, right? That includes all areas of life. Which is, I guess, includes the afternoon nap. Yeah, yep. I love it now.
I do the same thing.
Anytime. I'm not fussy. Afternoon, evening, even the morning after I wake up, I have a nap. Don't ask me how I do that, but I do.
I'm surprised you sleep at all. So I'm happy to hear you're taking a nap.
I sleep. Of course, I sleep. I sleep better these days. So I like the idea of having a 3-day weekend every 6 weeks as well. I think it's a mental break, right? It's a mental break, but also a real break. So having that extra day, I guess it saves you the Monday misery, the Monday blues, and it makes Friday even better.
Can I just share what I changed Mondays to? And we have the power to do this ourselves. So probably in 2008, 10, something like that, I changed Mondays to be my calm day. And I switched it up at home. I didn't do a lot of hustle and bustle. I decided that this was my personal take. I wanted to be available for my kids and my husband. So on Mondays, I always made his lunch because I always, we were always rushing out of the house. And so I just slowed my life down. I still had to be at work by 8 o'clock. But I made his lunch. I made sure my kids got their lunch. I didn't work out that morning. That was one morning. I always took Mondays off. Most people take Sundays off. I took Monday morning off. I gave myself an extra 10 minutes to drink my coffee. I was available for my daughters who might have been rushing around, even though I thought they were ready, getting their backpacks packed, getting them what they needed and breakfast for them, something, and it could be just cereal. And then I made my husband's lunch, and I arrived to work in such a calmer mood on Mondays. And I was able to change my tone for Monday. And I didn't at the time when I was working in person, I didn't schedule anything on Monday night. I came home and relaxed with my family. And that's how I made Mondays a much better day for me.
Yeah, Monday's always a good day. So I don't know why I like Mondays now. So I used to hate Mondays, but good for you. I think it's part of the conversation in terms of being intentional and making choices. I think Sean says on this week's show, it talks about replacing work-life balance with work-life boundaries.
I love that. Yes, that's actually that's not the title of my presentation, but I like it, Sean. I should have used it. But mine is called balance and boundaries. And so that's the title of my presentation at the event because it's so important.
There's a free ticket, you say, going, Lisa, right?
Yes, there's a free ticket to Dr. Tanya's event, which you'll share in a bit, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll wait patiently. my free ticket, hint, hint. They can't see me really. So Dr. Leslie, I said, choose what is and what is not. And choosing, just being more intentional would change our mindset and be the reframe. It is about being responsible for all of our life, and I guess feeling in control of all of our life, rather than thinking there's different parts of our lives that sort of spiral away, and other people control what happens to us. I think by midlife, it's time to dare to say, like I said earlier, the yes, the no, it's our choices, right? We have to make choices. We can't just keep drifting and letting life happen to us. We can choose. So as Lisa says, it takes time and practice in spaced, repetitive intervals. That's what creates habits, good or bad. Yeah, that's true, right? Sean says, reminds me of a story from my training where the client couldn't stop eating cookies. That's a problem, Sean. That's a problem. I mean, that is anyone who doesn't like tea. I don't know. That's just unthinkable. Poor person. But they came round in the end, Lisa. They came round in the end. I'll take it.
Yes, I converted them.
Good on you. Coffee is horrible. But if you don't drink tea, life must be so hard.
Oh my gosh.
It's a British thing. It's fine. Sean says, we sometimes are unable to change things by ourselves. That's where a mentor, a coach, or trusted person can help so much. I'm sure you both agree with that. Being
definitely
honest people. Yeah, but but it starts with making that choice. As I say, it starts with making a choice. Whether you call it boundaries, but deciding what you're not going to put up with anymore. And then it's about finding out, how do I make that change, and how do I make the change stick? Sometimes I'm sure it's talking to our kids, talking to our family, and then sometimes talking to our colleagues at work, right? Once we know what we want to change, then we can begin to change it. The problem is when we just drift through life and let life do us rather than we live life.
Yeah.
I said, by midlife, we want to know where we are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Christy says life and then work balance. Yeah. A friend of mine wrote a book. I go say my Dr. Dentist and Dr. Fortune. The book was called Work Balance. Positive Work Balance is called. I kept looking at it thinking there's a word missing there somewhere. There was no word missing. Yeah, we seem to. I think I accept your point, Christy. We tend to want to put life in the middle of work, as if that's where it fits. That's not where it fits. I totally agree with you. Life, and then finding joy at work. That's a real game, right? So like trying to do 50-50 is never going to work. And work shouldn't be impacting on our personal life and making us more miserable, or vice versa. I suppose now that's what Dr. Tanya. The question is then becomes, for our personal life, what's your big tip for finding joy? Yeah, it's a weird one.
No, that's a great question. And I think, Lisa has hit on it a couple of times, seeking out a variety of different experts and professionals on finding joy itself is really important. And again, this is a life process to go through and find joy. So, I've learned it. I love listening to Mel Robbins. I love Brene Brown. She's been very inspirational to me as well. Even at some of my, religious podcasts that I might listen to, and other people that I just know, like just friends and people, we are the collection of the 5 people that we spend the most time with in our life, right? So, if we're spending time around people that are negative, we're going to have negative feelings in life. If we're spending our time around people who are positive and doing good things in life, we're going to have a more positive experience. So that's one step to finding more joy in life. The next step that I would say would be a great mentor, coach, or a therapist. I was spent a lot of time in therapy, when I was probably in my late 30s, early 40s. I mean, I've seen therapists throughout different times of my life, depending on what I needed. But this one particularly stayed with us as we were raising our children and needed additional support. And so, she really wanted to know about me. When you have kids, sometimes you lose you. And so she would always say, so how's Tanya? And I'm like, oh, how are you? Oh, we're good. The kids are this, this. How are you? Oh. And then she encouraged me to find some balance in my life and set some time aside just for Tanya. And I would do that on Sunday. And then she encouraged me to try and find Tanya time every day. New challenge. So, coaches, therapists, they're great ways for you to do that. Then my chiropractor shared with me about guided meditation. I didn't know anything about guided meditation. And so now, I find the joys of guided meditation, and I schedule that in my day to do that a few times a week. Or if I'm kind of feeling like I'm in a slump, it might happen every single day for 30 days. And then I can bring myself back out of that slump. Journaling, a gratitude journal is something that, really helps us focus on joy. You can follow amazing social media people that help you focus on your joy. I was watching one this morning on TikTok. I don't even know who the person was, but I started following them. And they said, aside from Lisa Fevick, I follow her too. They said, there is somebody who wishes they had your job. There is somebody who wishes they had your car. There is someone who wishes they had your house. They wish they had your life. They wish they had your health. They wish they had your, and when you look at life like those gifts that you have, more joy just starts to bubble up. And so, a lot of things that you can do to help you find more joy. I just started a conversation on Clubhouse on Fridays called Friday Reflections. So instead of us looking at the negative pieces in life, I have a journal that I started writing in just for Friday Reflections of all the great things that happened in my week. And you really sit there and think about, gosh, in the last 7 days, a lot of really great things have happened. This show will be one of my things that I write on there. I got to be on this show to talk to the two of you. Like, what a joyful moment. So, yeah.
I just love that. I think that's the one thing that we talked about being evolved and what we learn, being in moments of joy and gratitude. Because I think especially with menopause, you tend to look at all the things going wrong in your life. And with me personally, I have a lot of health issues that, when I was featured in my local newspaper this Sunday in the women's section. And some of the comments were, wow, she had a lot of issues that she was dealing with. And I always remembered, okay, we have a saying here, when you think you have it bad, somebody else have it worse. And it's not that I'm wishing anything bad on anybody else or saying, okay, well, I have it great. But I need to remember to be grateful for what I have. Because there's always one thing you could find that is going well or is good. And like I said, being in this community, being on LinkedIn, a lot of times LinkedIn people have been better family to me than my own family sometimes, more supportive. So I could always find one thing that's going right in the world for me. And I think that's what I sort of encourage my clients to look at as well. Yes, you may be feeling that the world is against you, the universe is against you, conspiring against you, whatever. But what's one good thing that's going on today? And this gives you an opportunity to be open and curious, to find things that bring you joy. I'm seeing a lot of people now doing knitting and crocheting. Who would have thought that knitting and crocheting was making a comeback? And it's just because people are being more open and curious to finding things that bring you joy. So if it's one thing that if they take away one thing for that work-life balance, be open and curious to finding one thing that brings you joy. And if it works this month and it doesn't work next month, you find something else, and that's okay. You were going to say something, Dr. Tanya.
Well, yeah, I thought you were asking me at first, so I unmuted. But I do think, and it changes with the seasons. Like in the wintertime here, I like to crochet and do crafts. In the summertime, I love to play golf. I want to be outside. I want to go for walks outside. So, it changes, and it's so good to have good things. And I was wanting to respond to Sean Michael. I think when I was saying like that guilty feeling or forgetting about yourself, he said that's so common with moms or wives. It is. And you know what? When you are finding joy in your life, or you're finding or you're doing something for you as a mom, usually your kids and husband, spouse, partner, they're probably happy because you're happy at that moment. So they're okay with it. When you brought up crocheting, my husband always says, I can tell when you sit down to crochet, you're relaxed. Like, then you make me feel relaxed, So it's contagious.
Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of moms. Their children are grown and they're still looking for things to do for them. And it's like, what are you doing for you? And to remind yourself, if something didn't get done in the house, what is the worst thing that could happen? Nothing. So stop, being so worried about this isn't done and they're not doing it the right way. And let's forget all that. It will get done in their time, but let's focus on you now. What is going to bring you joy? Because you're stressed, and as you said, when you're stressed, they're stressed. And the whole house is just negativity. So let's focus on you for a little bit. Find one thing, focus on that for an hour, and just sort of wipe away everything else. I imagine remember those old chalkboards with the duster and you actually erase stuff? That's how I erase those negative thoughts. I actually think of myself erasing them. And okay, what is the one thing that's going to support me now? I saw Noni earlier. I don't think she's here anymore, but she's another busybody. But I remember her saying she was working hard for like 2 weeks, really hard. And she just said, you know what? I'm going to go to a hotel this weekend and just relax. I was like, and her home she has a beautiful view, great, She just said, okay, I'm just going to pack some stuff and go to a hotel for a weekend and relax because I've been working so. And I thought that was so great. She realized when it was just getting too much for her and she needed to take a moment for herself. And that's why I love people on LinkedIn, because I could always learn from them. I'm always so amazed of the wonderful things they come up with that I could, learn from. Wow, Sean has just given a lot of information. Ooh, I love I love when Sean joins the room. And are you seeing these comments? And yeah, Christy, therapy is self-care. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It took me a year to get up the nerve, the courage to join therapy. And when I started, it's like, why didn't I do this sooner? It was so helpful. Annie, are you there?
Yep, so I've just sent Sean the links. Sean, check your DM, my friend. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And of
Yeah.
course, Sean loves the idea of the weekly reflective journal.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that changes our thinking from sad thoughts to happy thoughts,
Yeah.
it's a good thing, right? I think that's where the joy comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's not dwelling too much. I imagine in all that, that's where Christy says therapy, self-care,
Yeah.
and Sean says it's so common with mums or wives.
Yeah.
And then you talk about erasing your crazy thoughts, Lisa. Sean has his Bing Crosby song. How old is that song? Probably older than me, right?
Oh, very yes.
Think I can't even imagine what the song sounds like. Yeah. I'm not gonna try and sing it. It's a big, Bing Crosby, Bing Crosby style either. But Sean's here. He can do it himself, right?
Yeah.
Hello, Sean.
Welcome.
Bing Crosby song. What's that about? You've lost me.
It's old school. And let me just change
imagine.
this, because this isn't Cyrus. This is not Cyrus's stage. So
as long as you like it. As long as you like it.
The song is, you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
You have to love that, right? I'll give you a round.
I'm gonna look for it.
If you think I was gonna do that, my friend, you got something else coming, right?
I can't figure out. Oh, here it is. So, totally resonate with what Dr. Tanya said about the importance of wives and moms. One of my mentors actually said it this way. A lot of women don't realize this. Nothing makes a husband happier than when she is happy. Like, he will go to the ends of the earth. You think a husband will move for that fun time? He'll move even further for seeing her smile. And I practically had to push my wife out of the house. I said, okay, look, this is the deal. Pick a day. It's your free day. You go. You do whatever you want. You want to go to the park? You want to go sit at Starbucks? You want to go shop? It's your day. Do with it as you like. And it was actually really powerful because she did a lot of healing through it, like childhood stuff. She just published her book. It's a journal for women in English and Spanish. This from the woman who said, I'm not creative. She's working on another book. And, and like, I think Dr. Lisa was saying, sorry, I won't say it, Lisa. It's a habit.
Annie wins the game.
Blame Annie.
Annie wins the game. Yay.
He's an evil influence.
Yes.
Anyway, at least once a year, I pick the time, pick the day, go to the Capitol, book a hotel room, spend the night, get a good night's rest. Because we have a 7-year-old, and so sometimes he jumps in bed and wakes her up, and she's a very light sleeper, as most moms are. And this year, I actually sent her away for 3 days and 2 nights, like a personal retreat. That she came back a different woman. So if you're a husband, boyfriend, partner, do that for the woman in your life.
I love that, Sean. I'm going to chime in. We have a little lake house here in Missouri, and sometimes I try to stay there in the warm weather 1 week a month, and my husband will come up on both ends of the weekend. And one of his friends at work said, well, is your wife home? And he says, no, she's at the lake. And he said, oh, that doesn't sound like a good thing to me, does it? And he goes, no, it's a really good thing. She needs this. This is good time for her. I get a lot of work done. I get my own time. So we don't have little ones at home. So the week works for us now, but I didn't have that when my kids were little, and I didn't know how to do that. So I'm hoping to model that for people. And I love that you do that for your wife. And yes, more men out there should, listen to that, Moms think they have to do it all. They don't.
Yeah. And
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
so I was going to say, yeah, it's so important for the health and happiness of the home. Because as you said, we actually had it set up. I had my day. I could go do what I want. She had her day. She gets to go do what she wants. And we have family day, which my son gets to dictate where we go. And I think that's a good lesson to teach him, that it's okay to do a lot together. Both work in the house, so we see each other all day, but it's important to have independence as well.
Freedom. Who said that?
I think that's such a great lesson to be teaching your kids. I love what you and Dr. Tanya is saying about the models you are showing your kids so that they can continue with that as they get older. We think as moms, wives, we are the caregivers, so we have to be caregiving 24/7 and take care of the home 24/7. Otherwise, things are going to fall apart. And I'm always reminding my clients, okay, if you don't do it for a day, will people die? No. Will something terrible happen? No. So it's okay to take a day for yourself. Of course, it's better if you schedule it so that everyone, and I love that you take a day for yourself as well, Sean, because I think that's important, because the people in our lives who support us also need some time off for themselves to do whatever they find, or whatever creative outlet. So the same way you schedule your meetings, you schedule your rest time, you schedule your off days, your me time, schedule everything and make those times non-negotiable. But I love that you support us so much that you have to put her out of the house and send her on a trip. I think that's so important. Annie, you can take an example. I'm just harassing you. I know Annie's a very supportive husband when he's
I'm saying nothing because every day I encourage to go do your thing, go do your own thing, and people are like, why don't you do stuff together, everything together? I'm like, I like my life, thanks. You go and go and see who you want to go and see.
Because you're married, it doesn't mean you're joined at the hip and you have to do everything together. Schedule 1 day a week, 2 weeks, even if it's 1 day a month, that you pick an activity together. But it's also important that you pick something that's just for you. And if you choose to bring someone else in that time, fine, it's your choice, but make it about you. And I love that you make your son part of it and give him a day for his choice, so that you show him it's also important to put your needs first. But I always love when you come on the stage, so I hope you keep coming back.
Yes, he will. Hopefully, he will. He doesn't like to see me suffer. Well, I figure, right?
I'm eager to hear about this cookie story, but when I do the show on nutrition, I want to hear that story.
So do I. It's not a good thing. It can't be a good thing. But let's see, right?
We'll hear the story and see.
Well, like I'll just put it this way, Annie. Like any good story, it has a very good ending.
Okay, good. That's what we want. Happy endings.
Excellent, Lisa. I shake my head. Anyway, So Jada says, thank you for the nuggets on breaking negative thought patterns, Miss Lisa. My compass is turning into how my body feels when thinking certain thoughts. So when I finally noticed where I'm clenched up, holding onto pain, I consciously take deep breaths, hold it, and then exhale out. I said it's out to let go of what doesn't bring me peace. I guess now this is breath therapy, right? Yeah, in all
Yes,
but name.
breath work, yeah, whatever you want to call it. So Dr. Tanya talked about guided meditation. That doesn't work for me because I have enough thoughts in my head. Hearing somebody else talk to me doesn't work right now. But that deep breathing, just lying down in my room in the dark and just deep breathing, that has helped me so much. Because when I started deep breathe and I put away all the other thoughts, I noticed that I'm actually clenched. I'm walking around clenched. And it's only when you stop, you realize how you're walking around like this and you need to just calm. Yeah. So that I love that. She has another, are you seeing the other? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So her mom's church is a garden. I guess this sounds like the people who do things that we least suspect, unusual things maybe. You say, Dr. Tanya mentioned earlier, some habits are for the season. So my wife comes alive in Halloween. Literally, it's like the Amazon store around here these days. Someone's bringing something because Halloween's coming, right? And
Yes, Halloween is coming up. Oh my
she'll
goodness.
do her big party.
Please send this
Shades,
to
yours is gardening, watering the plants. My wife is Halloween party with decorating the coffins, the
Oh
skeletons.
my gosh.
Yeah, all of them. The
I love it.
witches. There's eyeballs around the house. I'm like, why have you got eyeballs? But I just shake my head and walk away.
It brings
Yeah,
her
and it
joy.
would
Yes.
never ends my house either. Literally, as soon as it finishes, the next one starts. By February, we're into it again from there. But no, I think everyone has to find their own thing, right? I mean, that's the thing I'm taking from what Dr. Tanya said earlier. Find your thing and just do what you enjoy doing. Whatever that, however quirky that may be. So I guess I'm used to my wife's quirky ways. My son's getting used to it now as well. He's learned to complain less about skeletons in the front gardens. Yeah. Find your own, right? Yes, after that daily ritual, she would then come into the house and prepare dinner and deal with a big family. Yeah, find your joy. Dr. Marcia says breath with a deep breathing has helped me too. It's a real relaxer. Again, I can see many people thinking, but we all breathe, right? What's the difference, Dr. Tanya, between relaxing breathing and, I guess, everyday breathing?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm the breathwork expert. I catch myself holding my breath throughout the day. Not a good habit to have. So everybody just but I will say, at the Work-Life Balance Summit, we do have Brenda Lees who is presenting, and she is a breathwork expert. And so she's not presenting on that, but she has presented on that in the past. And I would say the difference between the two is, for me personally, when I've done any kind of breath work as like the client, it's finding the areas in your body where you're holding tension and breathing through that. Kind of like, I think where Chiedza had shared, like finally noticing those areas in her body when she relaxes and pays attention to her body, and then breathing through and relaxing those things, relaxing those. I one time went and got a facial, and I was laying on the table, and this lady and I were talking, whoever the esthetician was, and she said, "Are you relaxed?" And I said, "Oh, I feel so good. I feel so great." And she was like, "Really?" And my hands were like this to my side. And she said, "Will you relax your hands? Why are your fists clenched?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that I was laying like this." And so, just learning how to be in tune with your body. Now, relaxing is kind of that, in my opinion, is that cup of peach tea and taking a pause in the day and maybe, doing something that you're enjoying, whether it be gardening, sitting, reading, watching TV, laughing. I mean, relaxing can be all of those things. It doesn't have to be calm and quiet. Relaxing can be silly times and fun and all of that. So that's what the two difference to me is.
Yeah, the deep breathing, you have to breathe from your stomach and not your chest. So an easy, and I learned this from Brenda Lee's as well. Put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach and make sure that the hand on your stomach is moving, so that you're getting that deep breath and you're breathing slowly and you're breathing out even slower, and you're trying to clear your thoughts and feeling in your body, as Chietza said and Dr. T, where you're having pain and where you're holding tension. And sometimes I notice I'm holding my breath a lot, or I'm walking around with my hands clenched, and it's just checking in with your body and seeing where these things are. But yeah, the best person, and she's been on the show, so I'll have to bring her back, is talking to Brenda Lee's, and April is another good person, April Wyatt. Those are the experts. But yeah, deep breathing is when you're breathing into your stomach and not your chest, not that shallow breath.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You could just go, Sean. Go, Sean. Sorry.
So deep breathing, like you said, Lisa, like you heard, putting the hand on the heart. I do this with my son before bed. Actually
lovely.
see your stomach lift. We make it a game, who can make their stomach more bulbous, but
no, that's great.
As I said,
yeah.
Deep breathing is very powerful. One thing that I learned from the Heart Math Institute and my training was put your hand on your heart and close your eyes and imagine you're breathing into your heart. Instead of just your lungs, you're actually bringing the oxygen into your lungs and pushing it out. And the other breathing technique I like, it's really simple. It's called box breathing. 4 count in, 4 count hold, 4 count out, 4 count exhale, or hold again. And you can just do that as many cycles as and I promise you will feel a difference. And then my emergency relaxation technique, when my wife is on a cortisol spike, which happens a lot more these days, as Lisa can probably attribute with menopause or perimenopause, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. We had a big earthquake and she just got on a full-on anxiety attack. And I said, okay, tell me 5 things you can see. Great. What are 4 things you can hear? What are 2 things you feel or touch? And then 1 thing. So it's just literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're using it, whatever senses work best for you based on your situation. And it will reset you like that. It takes you out of that fight-flight mode and helps you reset back to rest and digest.
I tell you, that Sean is too good for me. He is good. Sneaking your Christmas tree up in October, that takes a lot of doing, Sean. That takes doing.
They haven't convinced me yet, but they're trying. And my wife's dancing a jig because she saw an announcement that Hallmark movies start October 17th. Although,
wow,
she's like, how do I watch it? I don't have Hallmark Channel.
Honestly. But it's a good trick though. So anything to keep, the wife happy in their quirk is what I say. In their happiness. You're doing well, Sean. You're doing very well. You don't know the tree, Sarah, at all, do you, Sean? You don't see it. Yeah, it's covered over.
I support them in their Christmas extravaganza. I just have boundaries.
Mm.
You know, like the rule is, can we wait till Thanksgiving or at least November 1st?
Yeah.
I agree. My birthday is November 24th, so we can't talk about Christmas until my birthday passes, okay?
We
And
do
that's around
now.
the time of Thanksgiving. So yes, I agree. I
We
love
do
this.
now.
Mine's October 14th, so
Yeah, too early for Christmas. Not ready. Oh, I love this that Chietza talked about rolling on the floor.
Mm.
We need a video of this, Chietza.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Dr. T, did you go? Or are you just off camera?
Who? Dr. Tanya.
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
here.
okay.
I just had to
Okay.
pop up camera for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, you talked about Brenda Lee's being in the Work-Life Balance Summit. So I think it's a good way to wrap up this show to talk about the summit, which I'm also a speaker at, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, please share with us if you're able to know.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Yeah, let's
yes.
get it.
I am so excited to talk about the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit. That's October 3rd and 4th. So it's this Friday and Saturday. Tickets are still available for it, in case anybody's wondering. But it is just such a great event. It's our third event that we have hosted, and an annual event. And we have 22 different presenters and 26 sessions that cover all sorts of things in work-life balance. And so these presenters are experts in their field, and they come to us sharing the information on their topics. And so some of the things that they're talking about at the Work-Life Balance Summit are things that we didn't talk about today, but are like, financial, ways that you can help balance your life and your work, right? So having some financial tips, health and fitness. We have registered nurses that are presenting that talk about health and fitness, that are personal trainers. We have therapists that are coming. We have some people that are coaches that are coming. We have Felipe Cofino from, I say from LinkedIn, that's how I know Felipe, but he's talking about HR and he's talking about AI, and how AI can help make our life more efficient. And so there's so many different things. I'm going to talk about balance and boundaries. We've got leadership topics for people who are leaders. We also have a networking time where you can network with the people that are at the event. We also have a meet the presenters time where they can just come and hang out with the presenters. And all of this is virtual. And so, you can come in your pajamas and drinking your pumpkin spice latte and, and hanging out and visiting and watching these sessions. The sessions are all recorded, and they're recorded for you for 30 days. So when you purchase your ticket or, join us for this event, you get the recordings for up to 30 days. So there's no like, oh, I wonder what they said. I wish they would have taken a picture of that graphic, because you can do that. You can go back in, you can look at it, and it's all available for you for 30 more days after the event. So it's such fun. The very first one that we had, the presenters had so much fun together that they didn't really want to be apart. Again, they were like, please don't keep us apart. And so it's not just an event for people in the audience, it's an event for our presenters as well. They get to collaborate and connect with one another, get to know each other, and, learn from other people as well. So it's just really incredible. And we're excited Lisa's joining us this year,
Yes, this is my second time around, I think, and I am
Yes.
really excited to be a part of it. What I love about your summit, Dr. T, is that, why am I calling you Dr. T? I don't know, but
You
that's
can. That's what my husband calls me. It's all right.
okay. Is that it's available for 30 days. Usually the summits I attend, these talks are just for 24 hours. And sometimes you don't get a chance to go see everyone. And as a speaker, I want to go back and look at all these speakers and hear what they have to say and learn from them. So I love that it's available for 30 days and the price is really affordable. And I think you and Damien are doing such a great job with it. So I'm really excited to hear what everybody has to say. And please put the link in the comment section so people can. I am not sure if yours YouTube will end up on LinkedIn. So put it on LinkedIn as well.
I don't know how I can get it. I always end up getting it to my YouTube. I don't know how to. I did put it in this event already, but I dropped it also in the private chat. So I don't know if you or any can grab it.
Yeah, let me see if I can grab it and I'll put it after the show. Yeah.
This link?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sharing it as well. Excellent.
Yes. Yay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's something
my free ticket. My free ticket. Let's discuss that, Lisa.
Should we give any of free tickets?
That deadly
Will you
silence.
attend the show?
Deafening.
It's 2 days. Will you be able to attend? Because I know you're like super busy.
You're gonna give away a ticket anyway, aren't you, Lisa?
Yes, but I think that's what do they say? People who are associated with the host and working for the show.
Do I know you? I don't know you.
We're just best friends, but okay, we don't know each other. That's true.
When it comes to tickets, come on, I don't know you, right?
I'll do that.
Okay, so how do our friends get your ticket then? What's the game? Are you gonna do a draw?
Yeah, persons who showed up today and made comments. I'll put their names in. I can't remember the name of the site, but it's a simple site that you put everyone's names and you spin it. So I'll record it and we'll see the person name come up.
The wheel of names.
Look like I'm cheating. Sorry?
Yeah.
The wheel of names.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called. The wheel of names. Yes.
Duh. Wheel of names.
That's the site.
Yeah.
You can put them in and spin them around.
Yeah. So I'll do that.
There's always a winner, and you can't cheat.
Yes, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
But the other ticket I have is only 20 US, which I think is really good. Dr. Tanya and Damien gifted us with 2 tickets for only 20 US. I think that was really brilliant of them. So I'm sponsoring one, and there's another one available.
Excellent.
And right now on Eventbrite, there's a 2-for-1 deal for tickets. So if you and a friend want to come, you can go to Eventbrite and you can get 2 tickets for the price of 1.
Do you have the link for that as well? Or can you send it to me and I'll put it in the show notes?
I can. Yes.
Yeah, I'll post it after. Yeah. And judging from last year, I mean, it was so much knowledge given. And then you have the option of going back in and listening for 30 days. I think that is really, for what you're getting, the price is just lovely.
Thank you.
I agree. Christy says good luck. Christy, you probably win.
She's going.
You are here. Right? Your name is in there.
Christy's there already.
She's already coming.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Christy, you can't win. Sorry. Yeah, everyone else, good luck. That's why I said.
Yeah. Well, Leslie Flowers is a speaker. So.
Yeah, and Christy's a member of the 2350 network, so she got a really discounted ticket. So yeah.
What can you tell us a bit about that before we wrap up? What the 2350
Sure.
is?
The 2350 network is a network that Damien and I collaborate on together. And so it is a network of professionals. And we get together 4 times a month. And we have a book study going right now on Mel Robbins' Let Them. We have Leadership and Lemonade on Saturdays. once a month. We have Think Tank Thursday. We have member meetings. We have member social events, and it's all virtual. However, this weekend we are meeting in person. And so after the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit, the 2350 Network members that are able to travel are coming in town. So you'll be seeing posts of us being actually together. And I'm actually meeting Damien for the very first time. We've been collaborating for 2.5 years professionally on events, and I am just so excited to actually see him. Jackie Hallberg, I'm going to see. Oh my gosh, I'm just super excited. It's going to be great.
I didn't realize you two have never met in person.
We have not.
And you're like the best of buds when we see you online. I love that.
I know. We're all excited to get together. So yeah, so we'll be hosting every year an in-person event somewhere. So yeah, we got lots going on. We'll be talking more about the network, but right now we're focused on the Work-Life Balance Summit. But yeah, network members get discounted rates to our events as well.
Wonderful. Let me just copy you.
Yeah, thank you.
Copy your links so I can make sure I have it. Right, because my computer is doing something crazy and making me disappear on the screen.
Of course.
I don't know what it was. Link between LinkedIn and StreamYard, I don't know what it is, but that's all right. That's love. Well, thank you so much.
We have survived.
Sorry. Yes, the show is here. We were on. We made it. Thank you so much, Sean, for coming on stage and sharing with us.
Nice to
Please
meet you,
come back. Please come back. You always have great things to share with us. And Dr. T, thank you so much for moving your schedule and being here. I really appreciate it. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. I loved it.
The knowledge was just, it's you. So I didn't expect anything less. But thank you so much. For anyone watching, please reshare for those who you think really need it. And join us again in the next 2 weeks, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, for another topic on menopause. October is menopause month. So we're really going to be doing some deep dives and some great topics that, don't worry, Annie, it will not gross you out. You don't have to run away. But hi, Margaret. I'm now seeing a comment. You see, I don't know what's going on with this thing. But, and as I said, I will be adding everyone's names to that site, and I'll record it so we could see who the winner is. So I'm excited for that. Thank you, everyone. You all have a blessed night and take care.
Yeah, excellent. So, Miss Margaret just shows up on the StreamYard now. And only been a few hours, Margaret. It's all right. At least we saw you in the end, right? So all those watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. And like our channel. Like the video first of all, and then comment with words, ideally. And please subscribe. Subscribe. And play other videos. So you haven't watched them, just play them. Just press play. Turn your back on your phone, right? And let it carry on playing.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
We'll need numbers on YouTube right now. Dr. Tanya's got the you managed to get there quite beautifully. So now we'll need numbers. Anyway, enjoy yourselves, my friends. So
my computer.
I just have to say, we have a word for you, Annie, in Spanish.
What is it?
Travieso.
Is that good or bad?
It means troublemaker.
That's me. That's me. That's the reason Lisa has me here.
Yeah.
To bring a laugh to a smile to her face when I'm being silly.
We all need to smile, so that's why Annie is here. Oh, but thanks, everybody.
I'll take it. Look,
yes,
so we're back in 2 weeks' time, right, Lisa?
Yes, we are.
In 2 weeks'
Definitely.
Time. Let's connect and learn more about the summit and what Lisa's going to be talking about. Better still, go and get your tickets, right? Go and get your tickets, and let's all meet there. Enjoy, my friends. Thank you, Dr. Tanya. Thank you so much. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Sean. Sean, I appreciate you more than you think. You always come and save me these days. Keep doing it, please. Please. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with Global.Media.